how are you? It's Trapson here, and welcome back to our adventures with the Hardcore Warrior.
Greetings.
Last episode, we turned in the quest ledger from Tanaris, and today we're going to do a quest in Tanaris, Gahz'ridian, before we make our way back to Feralas. And for this quest, we have to put on a helmet. It looks a little weird. And search around the desert for Gahz'ridian. And I hope you guys are doing well today. I'm doing pretty good. Seen a new guild. At least you can call like a streamer guild or a movement. I guess not really just for streamers. It's just a community event guild, I would call it. It's called Frontier. And they are leveling on Doomhowl, but it's Alliance side, so that's pretty cool. I kind of wish they did that when OnlyFangs was going on, because it would have been cool to see, you know, two different groups of guilds. Right? We didn't really get to see much Alliance during that time, so I hope the next time they do it, if they do it again, we see Alliance and Horde, and maybe Frontier will be the Alliance side.
What's up? I know. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. My home is actually in Ratchet, but after crashing my Zeppelin here, I thought I might as well start the research I came here to do.
Adventurer, I'm a scientist, but also a treasure hunter at heart. Long ago, when trolls used to occupy this land, they created large amounts of ornaments modeled after Gahz'ridian, a hydra they worshipped as a deity. These ornaments are carved out of an element that I call Gahz'ridian, after the hydra god. I did find some myself, but I'd like to have some more to study. Maybe you can find some? I even invented a detector that makes finding the Gahz'ridian a snap. Just put it on, and the search begins.
And I want to show you guys my, I want to show you guys the helmet. I forget where that would be. Is it general? Because I did remove... helmet and capes. Just because I didn't like the way they looked. We'll fight this scorpion here. And this helmet here, so what it does, nearby Gahz'ridian appears on the map. So there's no stats on it, which kind of sucks, but we should be okay. But with this helmet on, we can find Gahz'ridian. I wish I could find out. It's usually under interface, I would assume. Maybe social? No. Key bindings? No. Combat? I don't think so. Accessibility? I don't think it's graphics. But there's a way to show... to hide and show helmet and back piece. I gotta watch out, though. I don't want to get killed looking for that. That'd be kind of silly. But I want to show you guys the helmet. Because it is kind of goofy looking. Maybe I'll be able to find the options. I'll look right here. Where is... Figure it out here. It's in their interface options. Okay. I had a feeling it would be there. Yeah, display. There it is. Show cloak, show helm. We'll put both on for now. But yeah, this is how it looks. kind of interesting. But we'll do this quest today. We got to get 30 Gahz'ridian ornaments. We'll kill some stuff while we're, you know, attempting to get all of these. The best spot to get all this Gahz'ridian is to the south, right over here. It's where all the ogres are. So we'll head down there, and we'll pick up a little bit of Gahz'ridian along the way. And people level fast in these guilds, like Frontier. That's one thing about it. Like, I was thinking about starting up a character, but I was like, it's going to take me months to level a character when it takes a lot of these people weeks. So by the time I'm done, you know, the event's pretty much over. So what I'm going to do, we're just going to stick with, probably just play Mists of Pandaria when it comes out. But it is cool that the Alliance side's getting a little bit of love on hardcore. And you're getting to see, you know, some deaths and unfortunate events happen. And we'll probably see some Alliance while we're leveling up. And I wouldn't be surprised if Alliance is actually the more popular side now. That they have like a little community event going on. Yeah, we got the cape on. The reason why I don't like the cape is because it sort of hides the axe when you put it back. Like, see how the cape goes through the axe like that? Like, clips through. That's why I got rid of the cape. I didn't like that too much at all. Some helmets are cool, though. I usually always got rid of capes, even back in the day. I always didn't show cloak. Helmets are different, though. Helmets, there's some pretty nice helmets. Looks like this is surrounded by scorpions. Okay, good there. Trolling away now. And a free game, new free games out on Epic Games Launcher. An indie game. Not a AAA title or anything. It's called Sable. It looks like it's an adventure puzzle game. I decided to get it. Why not? It's free, right? But, looks kind of cool. Supposedly you, like, travel through different eras of time and stuff. Alright, so we should get a lot of Gahz'ridian here. We will probably have to fight a few ogres still. I seen some news about the Meta VR headset. They actually teamed up with Xbox. Kind of surprised that happened. Because, you know, Xbox doesn't really have a lot of VR games. So what you get with this collaboration is a MetaQuest VR headset, an Xbox controller, and 3 months of Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass. And it's pretty good. It's not bad. Like, to be honest, I wouldn't probably get it just because, you know, there isn't really that many VR titles on Xbox Game Pass. And I have monitors and TVs to play on, but if you don't really have a nice TV, you could use the MetaQuest, and the MetaQuest will put like a pretty nice big monitor in front of you, but it's virtual, right? So I could see that being pretty cool, actually. Like if you don't really have like a big TV, or maybe even the quality of the TV is a little old and the MetaQuest quality of the virtual TV is better, then yeah, maybe it is worth it. It's not cheap though. It's like $400. But I think it's a decent collab. And eventually there will be, you know, more VR games coming out. But by then there will probably be like an updated version, right, of a better VR headset. But it's always good to wait. But if Xbox actually starts getting into like, you know, more VR titles, then MetaQuest would be pretty good for that. But it is cool how you can like put the MetaQuest on and just get this like I don't know, this digital or virtual TV in front of you that's huge. I didn't know it could do that. One thing I've noticed playing both of these characters, and they're in both different, like, you know, stages of the game. This one's more like just chill, leveling up, and then my mage is pretty chill, but we're doing raiding, so it's a little bit different. It's a much different experience, like the two different sides of the game. I really like the leveling. It's like WoW's like, I don't know, it's a beautiful game. Especially the leveling part. Raiding's fun too, but it can get a little toxic with loot and just depends what types of groups you're in. I can see why people do prefer the leveling experience because of how it brings people back to that like nostalgic era of just like playing the game and exploring the world. And I heard some interesting things about the game back then. Like just some cool stories that I never heard before. So I didn't play like 2005, you know, 2004 WoW. I'm what they would call a Wrath baby. I started playing Wrath of the Lich King. So the game, the attitude around the game changed quite a bit in Wrath. Like it was kind of set in stone. Like this is what WoW is about. This is what you're supposed to do. How you're supposed to, not how you're supposed to act, but like what's expected of you in the game. Like Gear Score came out. That wasn't even a thing back in vanilla. But I heard of some interesting like raids where there would be people who would be like, yeah, I don't wear boots. You know, they would join a raiding group and they'd be like, yeah, I just don't wear boots. It's just something something I do. So it was like a personal limitation that that the group just had to deal with back just because that person didn't wear boots, and people didn't care. They were just like, yeah, doesn't wear boots, no big deal. We'll get through it with them. I've heard of another one where somebody was like they only RP walk like this. They never run. And like you'd have to deal with that in your raid group. And people did. They dealt with it. They brought them along. So you'd have to wait for that person to RP walk to catch up. Which is wild to me. Because nowadays, if you do anything like that, or even back in Wrath, when Wrath was out, if you ever did anything like that, people just remove you from the guild and would think that you're griefing the guild or you're being toxic. But back then, it was just like people just let people play the way they wanted, which is kind of cool. And it's funny how attitudes change over time. I'll be honest, I would not enjoy raiding with somebody that just RP walked the entire raid. I'd be like, this is a little too goofy for me. But the no boots guy, I wouldn't mind. But there are people who would care, because you are losing stats, right? You're losing like 300 armor here, 10 strength, 9 agi. And even more than that at higher levels. But I heard that's how it was at like the beginning, like when Molten Core, even a lot of guilds didn't even go into Molten Core, I assume, or a lot of people didn't, but I assume that this was like pre-Molten Core, like during Molten Core and Blackwing Lair in those times when they first came out. Like I could imagine getting 40 people to do a raid on those old like machines would have been, brutal with like AOL, like dial-up internet, like, that's connected to your phone line. Those were the days. That would have been. It's really hard to get 40 people that just don't have internet issues back then, and that can handle the game. It's amazing how far gaming's come in the last like 20 years. And a change today that we've seen that I heard about as well. I was watching a video, I forget the name of it. I wish I could recommend it to you guys, but they were talking about that there was a change of behavior for the World First races, and I like tune in and out of them. I don't watch them fully, but I do like to tune in from time to time when they're going on. And there was this guild called Limit, North American guild. I don't know if you guys know him. I think his name's like Max or something like that. And his guild and him started like the 41st man in a raid, where the raid leader wasn't in the raid with the raid group. For the longest time, the raid leader was always in the raid. And then they kind of changed that. And now it's just like accepted by all these like competitive guilds that want to get world first. to have a 41st person who raid leads and doesn't play. It's just like, you know, the way that people do it now. And there's been tons of changes like that in WoW over time. I know you'll probably like never see like a 41st man raid leader. Maybe you do in guilds these days, right? Like a normal guild or a casual guild, I would call it. Just a regular guild that I usually play in. Like, I've never experienced that. All raid leaders always in the group, right? Because they want to get gear too. That'd be kind of an interesting experience. You just have somebody who's a raid leader and they're not playing. Because a lot of raid leading is just calling out mechanics and just getting people prepared for what's coming. You know, what they have to deal with ahead, or when they should pay attention and stop focusing too much on their, you know, damage rotation. We're actually flying through this Gahz'ridian quest. Yeah, I've noticed over, like, gaming's changed so much. Like, the 2010s, well, not even pre-2010s, like, late 2000s, min-maxing became, like, pretty popular. And, like, I guess you could call it the word metas. Like, this is how you should play. You know, this is the general consensus of what everybody agrees with. And it changes over time. And back in the day, there wasn't, like, a general consensus. And, like, figuring out the general consensus in, like, 2005 to, you know, it's from 2000 to 2006 or 7 was... just didn't happen, right? Like, you'd have to talk... to find out, like, information, you'd have to, like, talk to somebody, and they'd have to lead you to this, like, forum that not a lot of people go on. And then the information would be scattered. Like, there wasn't a WoW head back then. I forget what it was called. It wasn't called WoW head, but there was, like, a forum that had, like, WoW info. I think when I started playing WoW, Wowhead was around, maybe. I started playing at the beginning of Wrath. So, like, pre-Gear Score. Gear Score came out, I think, around Ulduar, or... I know Gear Score was out for Icecrown Citadel. What Gear Score is, this is what Gear Score is. It's just, see, item level 41? That's item level. It's pretty much Gear Score. So out of all of our items here, we average 41. My mage is in, like, the 60s right now. And back in Wrath, like, people hated it because there would be an add-on they could download, and then they could check, you know, your gear, and then if you don't have, like, a high enough gear score, then they just didn't bring you to the raid. And that's going on today. That's why this version of Classic is, like, you'll never get that 2005 version ever. Just because of how much different the WoW community is today. Everyone's just so focused on, you know, min-maxing, and information about the game is, you know, easily accessible via, you know, Wowhead. You can just go on Wowhead to figure out pretty much anything. And I think that's, and I think we've gotten to a point where there's just too many tools now with like add-ons and stuff that they're having. Well, we have gotten to this point where it's just, it's hard for them to increase the difficulty of the game, like the developers. So to increase the difficulty of the game now, they're removing add-ons. They're actually like trying to bring it back sort of to how it was before. You can say add-ons have kind of, I wouldn't say ruined WoW, but did make it more accessible to newer players if they, you know, knew what to get. Because keeping track of your cooldowns and all that stuff, it can be a pain. Alright, so let's put our helmet back on, the ice metal bar boots. Got all the Gahz'ridian that we need, so we can turn this in. And then we'll make our way over to Feralas. I just thought this was an easy quest to get completed, so we might as well do it. Well, it still gives us XP. Wonder how the dungeons are doing. But I'm really interested to see what the next WoW retail expansion is going to be like with like the purge of all the add-ons. All the combat add-ons. A lot of level 60s trying to do dungeons. Kind of at that point where we just got to hit 60. And then we can get back into dungeons again. Yeah, it's going to be cool. I'm really Midnight's going to be so much different from previous expansions, just because of the add-on purge. Like, it'll still be the same game, but people won't be able to use all the add-ons that they were using to make the game just easier, right? I guess you could say. Easier for them to track things. I don't know. We'll see. I assume they're going to like try to make their own versions, but they'll be a little bit more limited. Are you having any trouble? You can find Gahz'ridian just about anywhere in Tanaris, Trav, so keep looking.
Perfect! These ornaments are perfect for my studies. Thanks so much for the help, adventurer. Oh, can I get my helmet back?
There you go. Took the staff. It sells for more gold. And now we will head back to Gahz'ridian. Sell some stuff and then make our way to Feralas. Could go to Ungoro Crater, but try to avoid that place for now. I don't think I can fear... I wonder if you could fear the Devil Sores. Piercing Howl would probably work. I'd probably use Piercing Howl before I would use Intimidating Shout. Because then you could slow it, and then that'll give you a good chance to get away after, you know, your target dummy gets destroyed. And it only costs you 10 rage, so you could Blood Rage and then use it automatically, right? I think we'll try it right here. Just Blood Rage. Boom. Piercing Howl. Run away. Doesn't last too long. Let's see if we can get away before it hits me again. Yeah. I think that's probably one of our best getaways is Piercing Howl. After, you know, target dummy gets destroyed.
Welcome to Tanaris, adventurer. How can I be of service to you today? You don't look like a blacksmith to me, but I know how looks can be deceiving.
Nice mace. I'll get some tender wolf meat. Nice. And we're at 75 gold.
Where would you like to fly to?
Yeah, Camp Maache, Feralas. So led to Feralas. There's a quest to turn in there. And then we have a bunch of, like, green quests we could check out. Should be able to do most of them. I don't know if we'll be able to do the elites. But it would be good to clear some of these before we move on. But I wish, man, I wish when these characters die, or like if they ever die, eventually you die. If you keep playing on hardcore, you're gonna eventually run into a moment where your character will probably, you know, get killed. Because you probably in a dungeon would be, or a raid would be the most common place. But it would be cool if I could bring them to the PvP server, man. Because I probably would level up like an Alliance Hardcore Paladin on Doomhowl. Just join the event. That would be fun, but I can't really do Mr. Pandaria and that and keep the videos coming out consistently. And then also on top of that, the Gnome Mage. And I still have to level this guy to 60, so that'd be a lot of characters all at once. I kind of like to keep it 2 at a time. At most, 3 would be... I could do 3 for a little bit, but then maybe I'd worry about burning out. But I am looking forward to Mr. Pandaria. It'll be cool just to check it out again. See the changes that they bring to the game. Because that's what they do now. They do some quality of life changes. To get more people to play. Right, they know that people don't have as much time as they used to, so they do add some catch-up mechanics. Like I forget what pretty much Mythic plus dungeons. I forget what they call them. The Keystone dungeons. They did it in Wrath of Lich King, and they do it in Cataclysm as well. It's like the Alpha Omega dungeons, and you get pretty good loot, like previous raid tier loot from those dungeons. So if you wanted to get into the end game, you didn't have to like go through all the raids from previous patches. I think they'll for sure do that in Mr. Pandaria. And then they have the buff, the Joyous Journeys buff as well.
Who you?
I think so right now, so people can level up a character before Mr. Pandaria comes out. We're able to capture the Wildkin. If you succeed, we will be ready to shrink and capture the music of creatures of Feralas.
See ya later.
Okay, yeah, we did that in the hinterlands. So there we go. We have a bunch of quests to do here now, guys. And next episode, we will be questing in Feralas again. Hopefully, we can get enough XP doing these quests to get to 54. And then maybe I'll have enough confidence to go to Ungrow Crater, but we'll see what happens. And there we go. We got the helmet on again. Not a fan of the blue helmet with all this red gear, but it stands out quite a bit. But guys, that is going to be the end of today's episode. Next episode will be leveling in Feralas. But as always, thanks for watching. Keep your heads up. Later.